Oh, buddy. So in the last update for iRacing, they added the Bend Motorsport Park, which is my home track. So if you don't know me, if you're new to the channel, I am a part-time racing driver based in South Australia, and the Bend is my home local track, and I've done quite a few laps here. So I'm in a very unique position now that for the first time ever, I can accurately compare what the track is like in the sim compared to real life. So I'm really excited for this. I'm waiting for this for ages. When they first announced it, I was super excited. Just really wanted to see what it was going to look like. First time loading it up. We've got our Hyundai. I wish this is what my Hyundai looked like, but this is our Hyundai racing car with my livery on it. But the first thing I want to do is I want to check out how the track looks, because I know these guys put a lot of effort into it, and straight away that is the gantry. So far so good. So flying up and out of the track using the free cam, let's see how accurate they got the surrounding area. And so far that looks really good. It actually looks just like I mean, yeah, it looks just like the Bend. But no, I'm actually surprised how much they've done. I just wonder how far they've gone back actually. Just turn around. So they sort of cut off out here. So I mean, no one will ever see this. This is the thing, right? So I'm sort of nitpicking, but yeah, no, I'm actually quite surprised. So this here is the main road coming into the track. So this is basically cut off sort of just before a bridge. Then that goes on to Tail and Bend. We'll do it as if you're coming into the track. So this bit's the drag strip. So this is the main road from Tail and Bend. If you keep following that, you'll end up in Melbourne. So you drive past the drag strip, you turn left. This blank area is actually a massive petrol station. There's like a Hungry Jack's and a noodle box in there, so you can grab lunch when you're at the track. But yeah, big service station normally here. Bit more of that residential stuff going on. The roundabout, turn right up here. Bit of residential stuff. So these are those apartments with the car in the living room, the garage in the living room. Come through here. This is where the gates are normally set up. It's an event. That sign is, I mean, looking at that is the Bend. Like that's the main sign coming in. Alright, yeah, so this is the Jam building on the right here, on the way in. Oh, they've actually got the signage up. That's pretty good advertising for them. This is a car park, which is also used as a skid pan during various, like, if you're doing corporate events and stuff like that, that's the skid pan. I mean, this is the kart track. That's absolutely, that's one-to-one. That is the go-kart track. Over here is the scrutineering garage. So what happens is if you come back to the pit thing, you come off the track and you turn left here where this ambulance is, and then you basically get told go to scrutineering or go back to your garage, and then you normally end up in this garage here, and that's where I got done for the camber. If you saw that video, round 2, or you can often get fed through here after qualifying. Everyone goes through here. But this is where the weighbridge is, and you see a little in the window. There's a screen, and it tells you how much your car weighs. In our category, we can't be under 1,000 kilos, and then that's where they check you. Pit complex. I mean, this looks exactly like the real thing. It's actually kind of uncanny, really. Come through the door, and there's normally a big car museum in here. Big car collection, bunch of stuff on there. That's in real life too. That's the Santa quote. There's like a little merch shop here. We can buy like t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. I mean, they've done a really good job. I mean, this is like little detail stuff that nobody's ever going to see, but it's still incredible that they've even done, even like that. This is the restaurant, the track restaurant. Normally a lot more tables. And there's a little kitchen cut out in the wall here, in real life. And then down there is your steward's room. So if you have to go down here, this is race control. Through this last door here, there's actually a bunch of windows, and you actually see in there normally. Yeah, they haven't really modeled it, but there's a bunch of screens. It looks like a NASA launch control. like all the TV screens on the wall, like they got CCTV on every corner, and they're watching every corner of the track, and they're watching for incidents and stuff like that. It's one of those tracks that if you do something wrong, you're probably not getting away with it. It's pretty well monitored. Looking at it from a bird's eye view, this is the main pit complex on the start-finish line, on the main straight. That's your first corner, second corner, third corner, fourth, fifth, turn 6 down here. As you can sort of see, there's a few different layouts, a few different ways you can go. This little bit isn't really used. The most common layout we tend to use is the international, where you take turn 6 here. If you were to go straight, that's the west circuit. So straight and then turn right and then back this way. That's the west circuit. The Bend International is turn 6 to the left, and then you turn right here into that tightening radius right-hander through here. If you were to turn left here, that gets you onto the GT circuit, which, to be honest, has never run. Like, I've seen a couple TikToks and a few like Instagram reels and stuff for people, like first impressions of the track, and they're all running the GT circuit, which, to be honest, I've never even driven. Very, very infrequently used. To be honest, it takes a lot of effort to be able to use the full GT track. You need a lot of marshals, a lot of volunteers to be able to get it running. It's not common. 90% of the events are held on the international layout, which is you turn right here and then cut through this section. Every now and then, to mix it up as well, they'll use the west, which is this one where you cut through here. But yeah, very rarely using the full GT. Even the east circuit, I mean, every now and then they might use it, just as something a little bit different, which is the pit complex here. You come through this way and you sort of run this last section of the GT track. So if you sort of think about it, there's like three racetracks in one here. It's a very versatile track. For us doing state series, where we're bouncing between this venue and Malala, this one still gives us a lot of variety because they can mix up the layouts and sort of gives a few different corners, a few different tracks. But yeah, so far it looks exactly like the track. It looks alright, but let's see how it drives. Does it drive like the real track? So this is a bit of an unusual starting point. You don't normally start from this part of the track. You normally are cutting this corner pretty tight as you're coming through. Adelaide sign's accurate. Those cones aren't there in real life, but I think that's an iRacing thing. Curb. I mean, yeah, immediately this is super familiar. This is basically what the track looks like. Ooh, this car's really understeering. I'm just on the baseline setup, so it's not very cooperative at the moment. So this is the international layout I'm driving at the moment. So if you were to turn left here, this is where we do the GT, but you keep going to the right, which is the layout we normally race. This is a very fun complex here. This bit you sort of brake into, try to get the car rotated, brake early for this corner, hit that. Jeez, this car is understeering like crazy. You want to hit that apex super early so you get it nice and straight for this straight. Get it straight for the straight, and then you can pull a lot of time. That's definitely the home field advantage corner, that one, if you know how to take that one. I haven't done that in real life. This setup's terrible. I gotta change this. This is not very good. But first impressions, this is it's pretty accurate to how the track feels. The dimensions is right, the scale feels alright. I mean, it's the Bend. It is the Bend. They've really made it look like the real thing, and the scale's good. I just got to fix this setup because this is... Alright, so we'll just modify the setup because the setup we got on the car at the moment is terrible. The baseline's really, really understeering. Like, it's a safe setup, but it's almost like really hard to drive because of how safe it is. So what we do with front wheel drive cars, so the Hyundais we race in real life are front wheel drive as well. The biggest challenge is a front wheel drive car always wants to understeer, so you got to try and make it oversteer. And how you do that is you soften the front down, anti-roll bars down to nothing as low as you can. The toe in, you want toe out, so net toe in you want in the minus numbers. So you want the front wheels poking out like this. And then what you want to do as well is you want to bring the front axle as low to the ground as you can, because you want it to stand up. You want that high rake. You want the rear in the air. You want the car basically leaning forward onto the front tires to try and get that front grip. Spring rates we sort of knocked down as well a little bit too. Okay, yeah, so you soften the front end down, you get the front end to the lowest the ground as possible. You sand it, you know, high rake, get it leaning over the front axle, soften the spring rates right down. On the rear, you sort of want to do the reverse. If anything, you kind of want to stand it up on the back. Stiffen the rear anti-roll bar. So you want the rear stiff. You still want it in the slow speed corners. They call it the peeing dog stance, where it's up on 3 wheels. Because you want to basically take the grip off the rear axle to make the car rotate. A good setup car normally picks up the inside and rear wheel at the apex. And then the other sort of quirky thing that we do with these sort of cars is we actually tow out the rear. So on a rear wheel drive car, you normally run it with the tow out front, and then on the back you tow in to give it that sort of corner stability, especially on power. On a rear wheel drive car, because you're trying to make it turn, you actually have the front out and the rear out as well, and then as you transfer the weight to the outside corner, it's sort of a bit like a shopping trolley, where it kind of wants to turn the outside out, like your rear wheels also turning the car. One thing to look out for though is if you do go a little bit too crazy on the rear toe, it gets really fishtaily on the brakes. And what I mean by that is because you've got the rear wheels basically out like this, the rear is trying to turn the car as well. It tends to sort of start doing this a little bit on the brakes, which if you're not used to it can sort of, you know, freak you out a little bit. Or basically like my teammate in one of the races, he had the rear toe and they set it wrong by accident. And he had like 6 mil of rear toe, and basically as soon as he, as soon as he stepped down the brake, as soon as he stepped on the brakes at Malala, he basically just went straight down the pit lane. Alright, let's see how it feels with a proper setup. I mean, the curbs feel alright. They're quite a bit more violent in real life, to be honest, the curbs. See, I sort of just touched the gravel there, and in real life that's way more violent. So, first sort of thing I'm really noticing that's different is the aggression of the curbs is nowhere like real life. Yeah, like even that, like that's violence if you were to hit that. This is one you tend to run off a lot. I mean, yeah. You can just drive over that in the sim, you can't do that in person. Yeah, so to see you just sort of drive off track like that. In real life, I've bounced through that corner off track, and you get airborne. It's a pretty wild ride. And even this bit, that's a common one. And so you just sort of drive back on. There's not a lot of bounce. So yeah, that's the big thing I'm noticing straight away is the difference between the curbs and the off tracks. Way toned down for iRacing. I don't know if it's a limitation of the sim. Probably they don't want it to be too violent, because if you had people bouncing like you do when you go off track like that, you would have a lot more spectacular open lobbies. And then everyone's iRacing would suffer. I think what's sort of happening is in real life, because at least in my category anyway, everyone's pushing the limits. So everyone's sort of taken a chunk out of the sand that they put around these curbs. So in real life, you start getting these trenches that sort of start to form, like you get these real deep ruts that start to form on the edges of the curbs. So when you do fall in them, they actually get quite bad towards the end of the weekend. And even with some of these, there's a real risk that when you step off the curb and you come back on, because there is such a hard edge between the concrete curb and the sand that's been dug out, there's a good chance of either breaking your rim or shredding the inside edge of your tyre on the way back onto the track. But yeah, this is really cool. This is quite uncanny. This is 100%, this is the Bend Motorsport Park. yeah, that bit of track is way more, like that curve is so violent in real life. I mean, I'm just taking it real easy, but yeah, no, this is cool. I mean, this one here, this one you can really get in trouble with, like that. Yeah, like if you dip off that corner there, you dip off that inside curb, it feels like you're falling off a cliff. So now that we know the track drives alright and it's pretty close, I want to see how the AI race it, because there's a few lines that you got to take for a few corners, and I just want to see if they nail it. So jumping in, just got a quick 2-lap qualifier we gotta do. Oh man, I haven't driven the sim in so long. I gotta get the touch points again. I gotta learn how to drive my hands again instead of with my bum. It's a very different experience driving the sim. I mean, it's close. It's pretty close. The visual cues and everything like that are very similar, but the actual feeling of driving is actually quite different. So you have to sort of like learn how to do it again if you've been off it for a while. Stuff that corner up. Those cones on the exit, they are there in real life. If you pick them up, you get hit with a $25 charge for every cone you hit to try and stop you from taking them. Cool. I don't think I qualified that well, to be honest. Wow, 201s. Far out. I haven't driven the sim in ages. These TCR cars are pretty quick. They're about 25 seconds a lap quicker than what we're doing in real life with our Hyundais. Cool. Alright, starting at the back, which is good for a test race. You're looking at the lights. There's 2 sets of lights here at the bend, which is always nice. And they don't work because it's iRacing. Lights out and off you go. This feels very much like a real race start. Everyone's bunched up, looking for a room. Everyone wants to be on the inside for these next couple of corners. And then yeah, it definitely bunches up like it does in real. Just gotta find your spots, sneak through. Don't get too compromised into 2 here, and then look for a gap into 3. Cover off the apex. So far, looking very good. Except nobody hits the brakes through there. That was strange. Dirty tyres. Oh. I keep looking for mirrors that I don't have. Oh, again, you don't step on the brakes there either. What's going on? They take that complex quite unusual, to be honest. You see how much speed they're losing down the straight because of how they exit that corner there. And that's a move I've done in real life a lot. That inside. Oh, buddy. What the fuck happened there? He pulls out to the right. What are you doing, bros? Do you think it comes out to the right? Alright, let's reset this and try again. Looking for the lights. I'm looking in the wrong place. Oh, terrible start. These TCR cars don't like coming off the line very much, do they? This guy, just on my quarter panel. Cool. Got through the first couple corners very nice and neat. Yeah, this is a weird thing because, yeah, you don't really typically brake through there, and people are normally a little bit more courteous. They normally give you a bit more room on the inside there. This is the absolute dive bomb corner that everyone tends to make moves on each other through. Normally, by this point, we're normally pretty single file. You don't want to be double file through here because the guy on the outside, as you can see, just gets absolutely left for dead. Yeah, they seem to give up a lot of speed through those corners. And then, yeah, oh my god, you see how much time I'm getting? Oh, take the rally line. Yeah, you don't do that. Oh my god, there's an accident. Up ahead. Obviously you don't do that in real life. That's a very accurate place to have a crash too, to be honest, because that's where Sam wrote his car off at the last race last year. The draft coming down the main straight's always huge, so you definitely can pull. I mean, see, like, oh, you guys can't see my dash, but I'm up 2/10 just on the straight already. Just being in this little back of this train here. I mean, so far it's racing pretty alright. It's just that back section, which, to be honest, we get a lot of interstaters come over, and when they run laps of the track, you tend to pull a bit of time on them there anyway. Like, they're driving it like they haven't been here before, basically. See how much time I'm gaining on them through that sequence? Because they're stepping on the brakes. Oh, and then they're just in the way. like seriously, they're taking the line so badly. They're just in the way. They do this weird sort of twitch there as well, which, again, if you do that, you have an accident. Going side by side here on the inside is always a bit crap because unless the guy jumps out the way like that, but if you hold it on side by side through that corner, the guy on the inside will get a terrible run on the straight. So it's in your best interest to hang on around the outside because you get a better run, especially if there's a draft in front like this. I mean, overall, it feels very good. It's racing in very much the same way that it feels in real life, really. The back section, they're getting completely wrong. The violence on the curbs just isn't there, but I think that's a sim limitation. The little bits, like off track, the edges of the curbs and all that, just in real life, way more violent. Like, you don't do that for fun. And coming into this bit here, the triple right-hander, it's just bad, really, the line that they take. So you don't jump on the brakes because it unsettles the car, so you're basically just letting it roll through there and modulating the throttle. And then you're braking early for this bit, chipping it in, trying to hit that curb but miss it. And then early again, trying to hit that bit of green. And then you're trying to get it lined up and straight for the straight. And look at the, like, I pulled 1.6 seconds on the car behind in that one series of corners. But the rest of the lap, they're actually doing quite well. So the AI just needs a little bit of fine tuning through that section to make them a bit more realistic. So you set up turn 2 with the exit of turn 1, and then it sets you up then for turn 3 as well. So those 3 corners are very, very interconnected. So if you stuff one up, you stuff up all 3. Whoa! Sorry, mate. I've just done a Jackson Sullivan. I was like, oh, maybe I'll go with the 2 and a 1. Because I just know the AI just absolutely park it in that corner. Cool, coming back onto the main straight. And check flag. There's a flag on the left here. Yeah, it's not there. But yeah, normally there's a flag waving from that little post up top. But yeah, even the way the curves feel, this bit, it's all... I mean, it's there, right? It's just, if you fall off the edge of the track, like there, coming on, you'd be worried about your tyre getting slashed coming back onto the black stuff. And just out of curiosity, so in real life, what we have to do is, instead of going down pit lane, we got to turn left, and I just want to see if it lets you. No. There's a wall. But yeah, that's where you go for scrutineering. Weighbridge on the left there. So yeah, final thoughts. They've done a really good job. It's a very good iteration of the track. It very accurately simulates it as best as I think iRacing can. The limitations, obviously, the big differences are the way the curves feel, the way the grass feels. If you go off the edge of the curve or in through the grass, you are, you know, you're bouncing. It's pretty violent. It's not just like a casual oopsie. You're feeling it. The bumps are in the right places. The elevation changes of the track are fantastic. I mean, it's a laser scan track. It's really good. But I'm super impressed by, they haven't just done the track well, but they've done the surrounding area really accurately too, which that definitely adds to the feel of the track when you drive it around. It's uncanny. Like you're driving around and you're like, yeah, like I've been here. This is the real track. So they've done a very good job. I'm very impressed. That line that they're taking through that last bit of the track, the AI are just making a bit of a mess of it. Yeah, you just see the pace advantage you get down the straight when you take it properly. Wondering if that gets better, because I know the AI in iRacing bases itself off of the laps that other people are doing, because there's a new track that doesn't have a lot to base on. So I'm thinking as it ages a little bit, more people are running it, it's going to get better, it's going to get a little bit quicker, and some of these lines are going to start to improve a little bit. But yeah, overall, very impressed. Interested to see how everybody goes with it. Biggest criticism I'm seeing online, people are going, oh no, the track's so long, but stop running the GT track. No one uses it. So run the International, that's the standard track, and then the West Circuit. Run those two, International and West. They're the ones we actually drive. You'll have a lot better, you'll have a much better time. They're way more just raceable circuits, I think. The GT track's just way too long. Let me know how you go with the track. Download it, give it a go. It is a fantastic track that's underrepresented in sim racing. More people need to drive this circuit. It is, I think, actually one of the best tracks in the world. But I'm incredibly biased because this is my home track and I've driven it a lot. Let me know how you go. If you have any questions, anything you just want to ask me about how it feels in real life compared to the sim, drop a comment. I will get back to you in the comments. Yeah, interested to see what you guys think. Let me know how you go. We are doing the West Circuit in real life racing. We're doing the West Circuit next weekend. So we will see you there on track. We'll catch you in the next one.